the right person for you is the person who better compliments you. A lot of people are so hurt and they're afraid. So people come to me, they be like, I didn't know that this person was actually a bully. I didn't know that this person was actually a stingy. I didn't know that this person was parasitic and was. I'm like, damn, you didn't see it. It was there in the beginning. You just didn't see it. Make sure you don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. Please don't make that mistake. Hey you guys, this is your guy, Mr. Relationship Goals, in my studio. Not a studio though. This is my room. I just put a sheet. This is a bed here and there's another bed here. So I just extended it. This linen like this. It's white so that the background could be cool. So yeah, the background looks cool. Today I chose to, because a lot of people they've been asking me, make that video, make videos. So today I chose to make a video on a topic, a very interesting topic, which is how to find, or how do I find my Mr. or Mrs. Right. I do this because a lot of people have been asking me, in my Facebook page, because most of my operations I do them on my Facebook page and on my WhatsApp. The topic, like I said today, is simply how to find your Mr. and Mrs. Right. So let's just jump straight into the content. Let's just jump straight into the advising and the wisdom. But before that, you see, my roomie bought me a chocolate. So important things first. I'm gonna eat this chocolate. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. This is how you find your Mr. Right. This is how you find your Miss Right. There are only 3 processes, guys. Very simple. Very, very simple. If you skip these processes, if you jump these processes, I'm telling you, you have 99% chances that you're gonna fall for a wrong person if you do not follow what I'm telling you. I'm gonna be mentioning them right now. The first one is preference. Second one is toxicity trial. And the third one is oneness. Preference is a word that explains itself. It denotes itself. So we don't have to do much defining and what so forth. No. Whenever we have to be speaking about preference, we also don't need to leave out the fact that the right person for you is the person who better compliments you. You find a lot of things, when you are working them together, when you are talking matters, a lot of matters that you're talking about, you find yourself finding the common ground. So you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that you don't find a common ground with. And you sum up all those things that you agree on. This is just the first stage in a relationship where you're still getting into a relationship. You're not yet there in a relationship. I usually tell people that if you take much more time before you make things so serious, you are getting to know the person, and the more you get to know the person, you get to realize that actually this is not the person I prefer. So with preference, I divided actually into 2. The first is preference in physique and preference in destiny. Preference in physique, I'm simply talking about the body. With guys, this is simple. They are up for what they see. They are up for what looks brighter, what looks good in their eyes. Of course, most ladies, they might think I'm talking about, you need to be having a bigger butt, you need to be having a 6-pack. Guys, this is very simple. Guys prefer different stuff. Whatever I prefer is not what the other guy prefers. So you don't have to work hard because you are thinking, you have built a certain, fantasy or fallacy, thinking that maybe all guys on earth love this. No, not really. We have what we call looks. Those looks are the ones that makes us different as guys. We like different things, There are some guys, they just love the nerds. If you are a girl and you are a nerd, There are guys who love such. There are guys who love chubby girls. Some guys, they just love the skin color. They love the skin color. The brighter the skin color, the better for them. What attracts you to guys, or what makes you attracted to guys, is very different. This also should help you to appreciate yourself as a lady. Don't be trying to change yourself, trying to fit in a certain environment. Of course, when you jump to ladies, it's also the same thing. I met a lot of ladies who told me that, you know what, I already have my diary. The person that I want is like this. He must be tall, he must be dark, he must be skinny, he must be all of that. But what I realized about ladies is that they're too emotional than logic. So most of you ladies who are seeing this video, realize that the guy you're dating is not really the guy that you thought that you would date. The reason is because ladies are much more emotional, and they are vulnerable to attention. The more they they are given all this attention, the more they are given all this love and everything, they get to to express emotions and begin to love. So their love is not really attached to what they really see. As ladies, they don't really see to love, but they experience to love. That's attention right there. So as far as physique is concerned, of course, as a girl, you need to have that thing. If you know that you don't accept people who are obese, people who are big, you don't have to do the whole big thing. If you know that you don't like guys who are dark in skin color, you don't have to do it. But if you feel like you can tolerate it, if you feel like you can do it, it's okay. It's all okay. After all, it's your decision, and then everything's gonna come back to you. So don't get this one confused, please. Do not set your standards, your visionary standards, way too high, to a point that no one can climb those standards. I mean, like, ladies have this problem where they set standards way too high that no man can ever reach. For example, I'll just give an example. I want a skinny, muscular, tall guy. Like, really, guys, imagine a skinny guy who is muscular. Have you ever seen that? Okay, even if you've seen it, how many times have you seen that? So I'm trying to make you see that sometimes your desires, they can be so, you can set standards way too high that you are even acting against yourself. You're not going to find any person. So as you are setting your standard, make sure that you become relevant to the society. You become relevant. Don't just look at yourself and be selfish. Be relevant to the people that are around you. And the reason I'm saying around you is because I'm also trying to make you see something there. Okay, let's say maybe you are in KZN, okay, maybe in Limpopo, whatever, and then you say, I'm going to marry a white person. Like, how many white people have you seen just in a week in Limpopo, or in Eastern Cape, or in KZN? Let's say maybe you stay in the deeper rurals. You say, I'm going to marry a white person because I prefer white people. You see, it doesn't make sense. So do not put standards that are working against you. No, be relevant to your society. Be relevant to people that are around you. Understand? Be relevant. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works. Even ladies, there are ladies who do that. They put standards that are way too high, and there is no man who can arrive there. You'll end up alone. Yeah, so make sure that you look for those things that make you almost similar to the person. And those things, they will be leading you exactly to the Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. So like I said, that's just the first part, right? And remember I said I divided it into physique and also destiny. So the destiny part of preference, here I'm trying to talk about where is it that you're going to? In 10 years, where do you see yourself? You understand? So most of the girls, most of the guys, they spend time, they be sexing, they be, kissing, they be doing all those stuff to wrong people that that this person is not going anywhere I'm going. You know very well that I'm just in this medical school, I'm just in this law school, and then I know that in 10 years I don't see this person where I'm going. It's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of emotions, feeling, and dignity also, because you can't just go be sexing everyone that that they're not going to be part of your life. It's very important as a person to know where you're going. Have a vision. In 10 years I'm going to be in this place, and when I'm talking with this person, I see, man, I waiting. You need to have that value. You need to have that self-value, self-awareness, and you say, this is where I'm going, and then I need this kind of person where I'm going. And if there's a person who doesn't show all of that, who doesn't show all of those things, make sure that you don't put the person in your journey of life, because that person is going to mess you up. It's going to mess with you up. It's going to mess with your goals. It's going to mess with your destiny. Make sure that you know yourself, you know where you're going, you know your journey, you know everything. All these things will help you to put the rightful person on that journey. You need only the rightful person to arrive at your journey, because if you put the wrong person, you're not going to be able to arrive there. I'll just give you an example on this one. For example, let's say I'm a man of God. I'm a person who do church. So what happens with that is that I might wanna be with somebody who's church. Yeah, because I can't be church and then be in a relationship with somebody who does party. So that's already a bad match. Destiny, like they don't meet. These two things, they don't meet. So do not confuse your life, do not confuse your destiny by choosing somebody that is not going where you're going. As a man of God, or as a Christian, a dear Christian, whatever, you need somebody who's a Christian. It cuts problems into half. It cuts the whole confusion and conflict in your relationship. Be with somebody who's going where you're going. If you're a nerd, trying to get somebody who's also almost a nerd. Who's not a nerd, let them be almost a nerd, because they're not going to understand you. You're going to be studying all the time, chowing the books and everything. They're not going to understand that. Trying to get somebody who's going to understand where you're going. And the only reason they can understand where you're going is because they are going there, or they're almost going there. So look at this person, say, okay, this person is going there and I'm going there. I think we can actually make a good partners. So that's actually what I'm trying to say when I speak of destiny. All right, now I think I have to jump straight to toxicity trial, which is the second process. Remember, I said there are three. Now I'm speaking about toxicity trial. Toxicity trial is simple, guys. There is no, how do I say this? Like, it's very simple. If you do this one, you'll get it right all the time. There's a say in the Bible that says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. This means that everything that I am, I say it, and it's very true. I will tell people that take time before you attach too much to the person, before you get into emotions and the feeling and the chemistry and the attraction. Make sure that you take enough time to know the person. This time will allow you, and it will help you to identify certain things that you really can't tolerate. I'm not saying that people will come perfect to us as we prefer them. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm trying to say that there's those things that we can't tolerate. And if I find out about that, it's a deal breaker. Like, I can't take it. For example, there are some people that can't take bullying. You understand? The moment they get into a relationship with a bully person, it's just over. It can't happen. But imagine if you rush into a relationship and you're already attached and chemistry is going on, and then after some 3 months you're realizing that this person is actually a bully. Now, you see, you just wasted your time. So taking more time in a relationship, it helps you to actually try to find out those things that you really don't like and you really cannot accept, those toxic things that you can't take. I will tell people that that there's what we call pretense threshold. Pretense threshold is normal. It happens to every relationship, or it happens to everyone who is in a relationship. What happens in pretense threshold is that when I approach somebody, I tend to naturally present myself in a way that is way acceptable, or it makes me look acceptable to that person. You understand? You wear nice. You say all the nice words. You just say all the right things they wanna hear. You do all the rightful things they wanna see somebody do. So those things, I call them the threshold, the pretense threshold, or threshold of pretense. It doesn't take too much time, but it differs per person. So usually a lot of people, they get into a relationship and that latent stage, they can't see it because they rush things. When you rush things, you can't see that latent stage. Every person passes that stage in a relationship. Before you get too comfortable, you get to pass that stage where you want to impress this person. You are doing all you can to to impress the person. But there's a time, there is a time whereby you're gonna get comfortable around the person. Sometimes you're gonna feel like, having to call 2 times per day. Why should I be calling? She's mine anyway, so what? You go to that stage whereby even when when you're no longer wearing a nice shoe or a cleaner shoe, you'll be like, what? She's mine anyways. But remember, in the first or in the beginning of a relationship, you are trying to impress her. Every time when you have a mark here or some dirt here, you'll remove it before she arrives, or before he arrives, you remove it. You do your hair, you do your makeup and everything. But they get that time where you get so comfortable around the person to a point that there are certain things that you're not going to be able to do, and that it is that time when your true self comes out. First thing, don't say anything about my hair. I know I didn't comb my hair, and yes, don't say anything. I'm advising people to take their time to remain there in a relationship, in that latent stage whereby you get to know the person, you get to identify those things that you really don't like about the person. And if those things you can't tolerate them, make sure that you stop the relationship immediately. You call it off, because it's gonna hurt you later. Somebody's speech contains everything you need to know about them. I think the Bible is very right when it says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you are not somebody's heart, you need to listen to them. So be a good listener. At the beginning of a relationship, be a good listener, because everything they will communicate it. On your daily basis, as you make meetings with the person, as you spend time with the person, you get to listen to them. This person is, do you know that you can actually know somebody's destiny? You can know somebody's destiny just by listening to them, just by listening to their conversation daily. You're listening to them and everything. You can know everything about them and everything you need to know about them. Yeah, because a lot of people, they allow goosebumps to actually control them. You see somebody today, and then in 3 weeks time, you are already with that person, and you feel like they're the rightful person for you. Oh, Mr. Right, we don't identify them in the first day. No, Mr. Right, the rightness of a person, it gets to, that whole decision and the whole confirmation, it gets to grow as time goes and pass by. And the more time passes by, the better it becomes, and the more accurate you become in identifying the person. And then you, especially ladies, you're in a relationship, the person approached you today, you agreed to them on the 3rd day. On the 7th day, you already feel like you are the queen on earth. You'll be hurt. The moment a person comes into your life, take time. Otherwise, playboys, they will show you flames. So people come to me, they be like, I didn't know that this person was actually a bully. I didn't know that this person was actually a stingy. I didn't know that this person was parasitic and was like, I'm like, damn, you didn't see it. It was there in the beginning. You just didn't see it. What am I trying to say by that? I'm trying to say that everything that happens in the later stage, 90% of it always, if you open the problem is that people don't open their eyes. You don't open your ears. You have to listen. You have to, look at things that he does. Listen to things that he says. There is always a sign. Guys, this is very simple. Things don't start, they begin. Things don't start, they begin. So at the beginning they were there, those signs were there. Just that, of course, the fullness of it was not there, but the sign of it was there. If you are in a relationship with a stingy person, I'm telling you the truth, there are signs of stinginess right there. You just don't want to see them, or maybe you are just never minding them. If you get into a relationship with a bully person, trust me, the character is there. There are signs of it. You just don't want to see it, or you just don't see it. You blinded yourself. You just want to listen. For example, I'll just give you an example. Let's say maybe you are in a relationship with somebody, and that person is saying, you know what? When I'm angry, I break glasses. I remember this other day I was breaking my mom's glasses and cups because I was very angry. I was very frustrated. I didn't want anyone around me. Hey, I just, for 2 weeks, 3 months, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I didn't want to talk with anyone. Hey, you are in the presence of a monster right there. I'm telling you the truth. You people, you people are something else. Somebody beats you today. You come again in the morning, he beats you. And you're telling me he's gonna change. Next week he beats you again. No, he will change. That's your problem. And then after some good 2 years of your relationship, when you are seriously even more attached, you are coming to us, Mr. Relationship, I have this problem. I'm just gonna tell you, this thing was there. You just didn't wanna obey things that we are telling you. Make sure you don't settle for something that you cannot tolerate. If you don't tolerate beating, don't stay in a relationship where you are beaten. If you don't tolerate stinginess, don't stay in a relationship where somebody is stingy. If you don't tolerate a lady who just speaks anyhow, don't stay there. Move. That's not the rightful person for you. The rightful person for you is the person who compliments you. These are suspicions that immediately when you hear, if you open your ears, of course, if you hear it, run. You understand? Because you can't. Later on, this sign is going to manifest, and it's going to manifest heavily on you. Problem is that guys attach, ladies attach. You build the chemistry before you know the person, and the moment some suspicions arise, you begin to never mind them. No, she will change. With time he will be better. It doesn't get better, it gets worse. It gets worse, guys. Never trust anything of that nature. It gets so worse. So make sure you don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. Please don't make that mistake. Well, let's say maybe you are a soccer player. You meet this lady, and then when you met this lady, you were a very good soccer player, and then all of a sudden this lady doesn't want you to go and play soccer. Rubbish. Come out of that thing. You understand? Such kind of stuff. So if you are in a relationship with somebody, that person needs to compliment you, especially if somebody is somebody who came while you were doing that thing. You can't leave soccer just because somebody now came into your life and you know that you love soccer. Of course, there are those things that we can compromise on, especially if they don't have so much, they don't contain too much weight in our lives. You can compromise on them. But those things that you think you love, you know that these things, it carries so much weight in my life. You cannot compromise on that. If somebody is not willing to accept you and accept those things that are your talents, your skills, things that you love that make you happy, that's a toxic relationship. Run away from such kind of a person. Somebody might say, you know what, Mr. Relationship, I'm a party person, but I love this person who goes to church. So what do? Why can't I just change myself and be a church? It's not advisable, my dear. Don't just do that. Don't just wake up and be like, okay, I love that guy, I love that lady, I'm going to change myself, I'm going to be a church because the person goes to church. Never do that. If you're going to be doing that, it's all on you. You understand? The decision to be churchy, you do it without having to look at another person. I told you that the preference is not about the other person. It's about the standard that you already have. So if you're going to violate what you stand for because you love somebody, and remember, you're not yet in a relationship, you're just violating first standard. You are violating it for the person. I'm not advising that. I'm not at all advising that. But if you feel like you can do it, you are so powerful, Samson, go ahead, do it. But it will come back on you again. My advice is that stick to where you are. Look for people who are doing what you are doing. Those are the rightful people for you. Okay, just to also clear something up, I'm not trying to say that when you get somebody who goes to church, that person is actually the rightful person for you. No, you still have to, apply some other analytical processes to see if that person is really, because there are people who they are in the same church with you, but they're not gonna be, they are not going where you're going. So also that one, you need to understand it, so that you don't twist the information that I'm giving you. The moment you are church, you get somebody who goes to church, you still have to apply other analytical strategies and measures to see if this person is really going where you are going, because you might be churchy all of you, but be miserable, get everything twisted. Some of you are so toxic. You are busy looking, he's toxic, I'm looking for the toxic thing in him, in her, in him. You are the one who's toxic. You should also check yourself. Sometimes you should check yourself, retrospect. My dear guy, my dear lady, check yourself. Check if you are the good person for the person. Mostly we are looking for the rightful people, but actually we are the ones who are not right for the person we are looking for. For example, a partner who can, who just so obsessed, when you are in the bathroom, you know, you left your phone there and she's busy. Understand? So that's jealousy. You don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who is that insecure. You can't afford it. That person is a very toxic person. This doesn't only apply to the person I'm talking about, it also applies to you. So if you're in a relationship and the only thing you want and you desire is to get that moment, and you think of whatever you can do, when you get his phone, when you get her phone, you are thinking, I'm gonna go to the contact, I'm gonna go to the phone book, I'm gonna go to the WhatsApp and messages, to the Twitter and everything, and check if this person. You see, the moment you arrive at that stage, you are toxic yourself. Another sign of toxicity is actually lack of self-preparation. If you're not prepared by yourself, if you by yourself are not happy, you know, without that person, without your partner, you are a toxic person. You know, this is easily seen. It's actually easily seen when his absence or her absence begins to intimidate you. The person is at work, you call you each and every second, you calling. Guys, it's toxic. You are with a partner, they know that you are at work, they know that you went for a meeting, they know that you are in church, they are calling, when are you coming, when are you coming, when are you were supposed to come at 9, now it's 9:01. That person is unhappy by themselves. You can't be in a relationship with such kind of a person who will be calling every time. It's very toxic. Instead, you guys can do this. You know, when you are in a relationship with somebody, it's actually a very good time, especially when they are away from you for some time. It's actually a time that you can use as a partner to actually expound more on your skills, expound more on your goals, expound more on those things that you love. If you love reading, you read your books. If you love watching a certain TV channel, you do that. If you are somebody who loves to do artwork, you do that. Use the time that you have when your partner is away. Don't be using that time to be worrying about the person. The moment you start to worry about the person being away, being in a meeting, being in church, being in school, being in university, being at work, being at all those places that you know very well that the person is actually there, it's a sign that you are unhappy with yourself, and there's nothing in you that makes you happy. And what makes you think that that person is gonna, do you think that there's a person on this earth who's gonna be assuring you that they love you each and every hour? That's impossible. No, there's no one who can assure anyone that they love them at an hourly base. It's very impossible. You need to be happy with yourself. You need to love yourself without the partner. If the partner is away, he went to a meeting, he went to shopping, be busy with yourself. Be happy with your. Why are you restless? There are a whole lot of examples pertaining toxicity. I'm going to share all of them. If you comment just down there and ask some questions, of course I will answer there. Now I want to deal with oneness. It's actually a stage where you now readily confirm that this person, I can marry them or not. Oneness, I divided into two: oneness in sympathy, oneness in property. Now, oneness in sympathy is actually the feeling. It's a flow of emotions, flow of the feeling between you guys, those sentiments that exist between you guys. If I'm in a relationship with a lady, and maybe like she's going through emotional breakdown, maybe there are family situations, maybe they are, she's sick, she's not feeling well in the body, so it's as if though I'm also feeling the same pain she's feeling, even though I'm not directly affected by those things that are affecting her. Her mother passes away, she's crying. I feel like I'm in the same, I feel like I'm carrying the same burden. That's what I call unity in sympathy. So unity in emotions, it's simply like that. Now that's just the first part. Now the second part is oneness in property. It's one of those things that makes us depict if the person is ready to marry you, or you are ready to be married to them. Oneness in property is simply, I like to use two examples. Phone, gadgets. To as far as my phone is concerned, if I'm in a relationship, it's our phone. It's not just your phone. If I'm in a relationship, my laptop is not just your laptop, it's our laptop. The moment you reach that point in a relationship with a person, you now know that actually this person is actually a good person for me. I can actually marry this person. The moment he liberates, he frees all the property that he has to be at your disposal, to be at use. Now you know that this person is actually ready to be married to you. But your partners have passwords, on their phones. They have passwords against you. You are struggling. Let's say maybe he's in the garden. You urgently need a time. You urgently need something. You need to go into the garden and ask. That's not actually what I'm I advise people to be doing. I advise people to not have any privacy against one another. Let privacy be a healthy privacy, not a privacy against your partner. If you have a password on your phone, your partner should be knowing that password. If your partner has a password on the phone, you should be knowing something about it. If you don't know anything about it, then that's where the problem starts. So yeah, that's just in a nutshell, guys, about property. It's getting dark outside, so my video is getting blurry. Now, having to conclude on the property. Now, when you are united with somebody in property, you know that actually that person is somebody that you can marry or you can be married to. When you arrive at a level where even his car, you can use it, he also can use your car. You know, he doesn't have to pray, kneel down to use your car and everything. There are a lot of things happening in a lot of relationships. We see them, we experience them. Some people come to me and tell me, you know what, this and this and that. Guys, like, there's really no need. The moment you see that this person is not united to you or with you in property, there's no need to marry such kind of a person, because you're going to have problems in a relationship. Thank you. And when you're done with all these three processes, preference, toxicity trial, and you are one with the person, boom, you're Mr. Right and you're Miss Right. Done.
Savannah, I'm coming home, Savannah.